Hello everyone, welcome to the podcast with Bakhtiyar. Today we have an amazing guest. He's from Australia. He's LinkedIn top voice and he's a life coach and a career coach for many MNCs around the globe. So welcome Abhijeet to our show.
Thank you so much, Bakhtiyar. My pleasure. My absolute pleasure.
So currently, Abhijeet has completed his bachelor in economics and psychology and MBA in marketing and advanced diploma holder in software engineering. He has served IT, banking, finance, sales, marketing, every other industry, and now he's in from Indian origin, but he is currently now having a place home in Sydney, Australia. He is Australia LinkedIn top voice, and he has served from Fortune number two company to various kind of startups. He is a certified NLP practitioner. Along with he has studies hypnotherapy. Correct me if I'm saying it
Hypnotherapy.
wrong.
That's right.
Yeah, hypnotherapy. I want to understand this. What is hypnotherapy? And he's staying in Sydney along with his wife and two children. So let's hear from you, Abhijeet. And I guess your Zoom ID is AK. So let's hear it from you.
Thank you so much, Bakhtiyar. Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
So, Abhijeet, uh, as your career started, I know a little bit about you. You have told me. So, from knocking the doors to sell the product, now like going to the board for the presentations and all, board of directors. So, how this journey went seems like a very steep one. So can you walk us through your journey a bit? So from how you have managed from knocking the doors to sell the product in India and then getting citizenship of Australia and now presenting to the board of directors, please.
Sure. It's a very interesting yet very, very complex sort of journey. And as they say, variety is the spice of life. I'm a man of variety. I've done so many varied things that I
Mhm.
myself sometimes don't believe that I've done so many things. And it all started with a lot of confusion and lack of clarity in my career, in my life. Uh, right when I passed my grade 12 exams,
Mhm.
that's when I had this confusion in my mind whether I should be pursuing engineering or medicine just like anyone else, because these
Mhm.
were probably the safest options to choose
Yeah,
for any Indian, as you
correct.
know.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Fortunately, I had not studied enough in grade 12, and which meant that I was not eligible to become an
Mhm.
engineer or to become a doctor, and I couldn't get an admission to any of the top colleges. Um, that basically was an opportunity, and because I wanted to study IFS, I wanted to become a Indian Foreign Service officer.
Mhm.
Um, I was like very very keen in doing that rather than pursuing engineering or basic medicine. So I spoke with my father, and he was very supportive of that. He said that, oh, as long as you are like making your career in something and very serious about it, there's no problem in pursuing anything. So I
Yeah.
got that support. I
Mhm.
started studying Bachelor of Arts because that was the best thing to do, combining Bachelor of Arts and then probably studying more for UPSC and those sorts of exams.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I started doing that. So the
Mhm.
safer option probably was, to choose a plan B and a plan C as well. So if
Mhm.
this thing doesn't work, I at least have a fallback option to choose from. So I started, bachelor's in economics,
Mhm.
and one of my subjects was psychology as well.
Okay.
And as I started, studying bachelor's,
Mhm.
I realized that UPSC probably wasn't for me. I wasn't enjoying it that much, and I didn't go
Mhm.
for any sort of formal coaching or any sort of formal,
Okay.
education towards that.
Mhm.
I was more drawn towards psychology. I was like, I wanted to understand how human mind works, how people behave, how do they respond, and what's going on with how people communicate and how they approach and respond. So that was something that I was drawn to.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing my bachelor's, and like I said, I wanted to make a solid sort of career if I was not following engineering or medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so in parallel, I was learning software engineering from a private
Mm.
institute. I
Okay.
course in software engineering, and because I was already, trying to pursue IFS, I had
Mm-hmm.
already gotten an admission to learning German language because one of the foreign language knowledge was necessary. So I
Okay.
started learning German as well. So at one
Mm-hmm.
point in time, I was learning economics, I was studying psychology, I was doing German language, I was also studying advanced diploma in software engineering. So I completed all of that, and my bachelor's was done. And the next question was, what do I do with my career, right? That's when
Mm-hmm.
I got an admission to masters in economics. As I started studying that, slowly the
Mm-hmm.
other options actually started to fall away. Like, advanced diploma in software engineering was completed, but I didn't want to pursue a career in that. German language, I was pursuing that, but the final exam was where I was the only one who flunked, who did not make it. And so I was like, because that was such a demotivating factor for me, I stopped learning German. And then so I thought, what do I do with my career? So I
Mm-hmm.
started a master's in economics, but then I realized that that too also was not a safe kind of option for my
Okay.
career. And so I thought probably, I'll do something else, which is more in
Mm-hmm.
demand market. And because, my grasping power was very strong,
Mm-hmm.
what I did was I started looking for options for MBA. So studied for MBA, got into an MBA college,
Mm-hmm.
studied MBA marketing, and completed my MBA. And that's when I started my career in sales and marketing because I specialized in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Started my first job at Standard Chartered Bank as a sales executive, where I was going, knocking on people's doors, literally uh, getting some places I was getting rewarded, some places people were
Mm-hmm.
banging, closing the door in front of me. Lots of
Mm-hmm.
different sorts of experiences, which obviously helped me a lot. And as my career was going ahead in sales and marketing, I realized that
Mm-hmm.
this probably also wasn't very solid and concrete sort of options which will, like skyrocket my career. I was
Mm-hmm.
looking for option, and then I got an opportunity to work with HDFC Limited into
Okay.
home loans. So I started working as a credit officer, credit and operations
Mm-hmm.
officer in home loans. Worked there for 5 years, gained a lot of domain expertise in mortgage and home loans and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As I was credit appraising uh, my customers in HDFC, I came across
Mm-hmm.
lots of profiles of software engineers who
Mm-hmm.
were applying for loans, and they were very easily eligible.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was comparing my salary against them, and I was like, you know, they're earning 5 times or 10 times more than me. And I was like,
Uh,
what is the reason, right? Just because they
uh,
studied engineering shouldn't make that kind of difference. So I started dreaming of, making more money because that was the
mm-hmm.
thing which I felt was going to give me more secure and more established sort of career.
Yeah.
Um, as I started exploring, I applied for a job as a business analyst because of the domain expertise in mortgage
Mm-hmm.
and home loans.
Mm-hmm.
I got through. And so here I was. Suddenly, I started working as a business analyst in Oracle, which was one of the largest software companies in the world. I
Mm-hmm.
worked for several years in Oracle in
Mm-hmm.
products, consulting, services, different countries, different hierarchies, leading lots of different sorts of teams, testing, business analysis, all sorts of things, right? Um, and then I realized that I was coming to a plateau, or I was coming to a stage where I felt that uh, not enough justice was being made to my career or
Mm-hmm.
to my potential. I felt that I probably needed to explore more opportunities out of India. That's when I applied for a PR, received my PR, came here, and then started working with a fintech company. Um, Again in software engineering, software development.
Mm-hmm.
And for several years, I worked with different sorts of clients and different companies. here in
Hmm.
Australia.
Hmm.
And all along, I kept feeling that, not enough is being made out of me. Like I'm not
Hmm.
using my 100% potential. I'm still not feeling secure enough, not career-wise, not even in personal life, because I don't know, like I didn't know where I was going, what I was trying to achieve.
Hmm.
Except
Hmm.
for paying my bills, I didn't know really, what was happening in my life.
Hmm.
Technically, I was kind of successful, but I was still
Hmm.
not feeling happy, content,
Hmm.
uh, and I was not doing something which was really meaningful. You know,
Hmm.
so I was looking for more security, more understanding about who I was. How do I actually evolve, and how do I actually make a career into something that is
Hmm.
truly, truly, truly meaningful, satisfying, exciting, motivating. Where I
Hmm.
don't have to really drag myself or push myself to go to work every day.
Hmm.
And as I was thinking on those lines, that's when things started. Like they say, um, आप जब किसी चीज को सच्चे दिल से
शिद्दत
चाहते हो तो
तो पूरी
पूरी
कायनात उसे
कायनात आपको
मिलाने हैं।
सपोर्ट करती है, right?
हाँ
And
हाँ
that's
हाँ।
how things fell in place. There was a unfortunate professional tragedy in my life where I lost my job,
ओ।
and yes, and my wife wasn't working at that point in time. I had become a
हम्म
father for the second time,
हम्म हम्म
just then. And so I had all sorts of financial burdens and debts and a very, very nightmarish sort of situation. And
हम्म
that's when, I was thinking of looking for another job. And at the same time, I was very, very depressed, very, very, felt like a loser, felt like a defeated person after working for so many years.
हम्म।
I underwent professional and personal coaching. And
ओके।
that literally significantly changed my thinking, my mindset.
हम्म
And I started using those strategies, started implementing, started experimenting more on myself. And I
हम्म
realized that I started using more of my potential. I realized I was so powerful. And when I started using those strategies and techniques and tools for my career, I started
हम्म
securing offers like just like this, like crazy. Um,
हम्म
and I realized that this works. And that's when I started to think about, can I undergo certain sort of trainings and programs whereby I can become coaches, and my coaches helped me doing that.
हम्म।
So I underwent lots of training programs and professional coachings, and then started on my own. And that's where, my clients started producing results. And then that's how, things started shaping up. That's my
Okay.
journey. A
So
bit
currently,
longish.
as no, the thing is that you started from standard chartered now here, so journey should be long. Like journey should be not long, journey should be big. So
Yeah,
as there's a very famous Hindi movie dialogue like बामोशाय जिंदगी लंबी नहीं बड़ी होनी चाहिए. So
perfect.
make life big, not long. So yeah. So
True.
so currently you are not doing any corporate job, like
No,
normal.
absolutely not.
Okay, so you
I
are
don't.
hmm.
My philosophy is I don't like to dabble. Like,
Okay.
I don't want to dip my toes in the water and just check what's the temperature. I'm like, if I want to dive in, I want to dive in. No, I love to
Okay,
experiment, love to take those risks,
got it.
because
Got it.
don't take risks if you're not courageous with your life. If you're
Ah,
staying in the comfort zone, you are
hmm.
absolutely not growing.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So, putting down my first question, like with you, so can you share some sort of secret sauce strategy or technique which has helped your clients on a remarkable success, both in their like career-wise and also the professional life-wise? Or is it some sort of magic trick you use, or what is that?
Great question. Great question. Great question. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, please tell me.
To answer that question, um,
Sure.
have you have you have you watched any magic shows in your life?
Magic
I'm sure you
shows.
have.
No, I
Do
don't
you know
get
of any
time.
magic shows?
Yeah, I've seen couple online like but I know that those are kind of tricks which they use. It is not like magic, whole sort of magic. So I've seen many kind of tricks online, and a couple of times I tried to learn it, but couldn't do because my hands are not that quick. So,
Mm, mm, mm,
but
mm.
yeah, I've seen
You
magic.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. So when you see those magics
Hmm.
done by the magician, you're like, wow, how does this guy do it, right?
Yeah.
You are in awe. You're like surprised. कैसे
Hmm.
कर सकता है बंदा यार? This is
Hmm.
crazy, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
imagine now the magician is teaching you those techniques. He's saying, you know, this is the trick we use. These are the
Hmm.
steps. One, two,
Hmm.
three. That's how we do it. And when you
Hmm.
realize that, your reaction is like, oh, so it's that. Oh, that's so easy, man. That's so easy. That's not too difficult. All I need to do is just try it few times, and I'll be able to do
Correct.
it myself as well.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Yeah.
So you spoke about secret sauce. There's no secret sauce as such. You know,
Okay.
it's just
Hmm.
knowing those strategies, those techniques, those tricks,
Hmm.
those tools. Once you understand that, you realize, oh, why is it that I didn't know about this for such a long time, right? You're working
Correct.
in corporate for 35, 40 years of your life. That's
Hmm.
like a majority part of your active life, correct?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
in spite of working for so many years, people don't spend enough time knowing these techniques and strategies. It
Hmm.
hardly takes a few weeks to truly understand how to use them, right? So I would say, you know, couple of very, very important things that I people should be aware of is and most of my clients know this story. I keep narrating this story to my clients,
Hmm.
um, where I talk about upstream and downstream, right?
Hmm.
When I say
Hmm.
upstream, you're looking at the fundamental things that you should be aware of. You know, the
Hmm.
main things that the root cause of your situation that you should be aware of. Once you know about that root cause, all the downstream issues, the downstream challenges that you have in your life automatically get faded away. So what is important is to understand what exactly is it that you're looking for, getting
Hmm.
clarity towards that. That's number one. Okay. So through the programs, I help my clients understand that part, and
Hmm.
which significantly helps them understand and break down the downstream sort of challenges and situations for them. So that is number one. Number
Hmm.
two is I help them start believing that things are possible, that anything is
Hmm.
possible,
Correct.
right? Because
Correct.
one of the mantras that I talk about is belief comes first.
Hmm.
You can believe, you can make it happen. Half of your
Hmm.
battle is won when you start believing, you know.
Hmm.
And so many of my clients have produced the kind of results that
Hmm.
neither me nor that client could anticipate in the beginning that they would actually achieve it. But when we started believing, that's when things started becoming possible. So belief is something that I help my clients to
Hmm.
understand through using a lot of mindset techniques as well, and through
Hmm.
understanding their root causes and how do you actually address them. That's basically the secret sauce that you can talk about. But it's more of a magic show where the magician shows you things and then they realize, yeah, this is not out of the world, this is not rocket science,
Yeah.
anyone can do it.
Okay. So, this is like one thing which I've observed. Those who pick like psychology as their second subject, you have talked about in intro. So, I've met couple of people like those who are engineers or chartered accountants, even medical practitioners. So, if they get involved in psychology and somehow they get that economics to read or to learn, when they match it, they'll explode. So
Hmm,
this
hmm, hmm,
combination of psychology and economics, because they run very parallel to each other. People don't realize it, but it's there, which I have observed talking to many people and going around and talking. So, like this is something which is unique. And what you said, like you left UPSC and you started liking psychology. It's true, because someone who gets involved in psychology, they leave everything. Yesterday even I had a talk with someone. He left a CA for a psychology thing. So there are many people who are like this. So great to talk to you and interact with you. Like you said, from there to there, it's very kind of motivating journey. So one question
Thank you.
is like, yeah, one question is like, I want to ask, what is like certified NLP practitioner, and what is that hypnotherapy, or what you have said? I want to learn that. What word is that, and how you apply it?
Sure. So NLP basically stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming, right?
Okay.
Where
Hmm.
we understand how human mind works,
Okay.
how human brain works, right?
Hmm.
And if you look at any profession or whatever
Hmm.
you do in your life,
Hmm.
for everything, the fundamental is how one thinks, how one reacts, how
Hmm.
one responds to a situation, to a person. So,
Hmm.
regardless of what you're doing, if you understand this part significantly well, everything else falls in place. Okay.
Hmm.
So now let me give you an example. Like we have a chance to um, to prepare 85,000 different versions of what information we see every single day. Okay, that's a very
Hmm.
significant number. And so
Hmm.
what we do with this information is um, we filter it. We filter it through something called as VACOG. VACOG stands for
Hmm.
VAKOG, which is like
Hmm.
visual, auditory, aesthetic, olfactory, and gustatory, five different senses. So we
Hmm.
filter through that. And when we filter that, what we typically do is we generalize some information, we delete some information, and we distort some information.
Hmm.
So now, if we understand how to process that and what to make out of it, then what comes inside our brain, our mind, is the filtered information. So if we can filter that information based on what we want to do and how we want to process. We can
Hmm.
significantly change the way we behave. We can significantly change the way we act. We can
Hmm.
significantly change the way we produce outcomes. Okay.
Hmm.
And if you look at that, a human
Hmm.
mind, the
Hmm.
subconscious mind is made of 95%, whereas the conscious mind is only 5%. The conscious mind is where you think about, lots of different things like, um, thinking about all the statistical things,
Hmm.
those sorts of things. Whereas the subconscious mind is where you're thinking about, all the creative things, all the things that get processed,
Hmm.
and everything that is processed there is basically
Hmm.
fed to your conscious mind. And the conscious mind does, what it does is simply picks up from the subconscious mind and just
Hmm.
transmits it into the outside world.
Hmm.
So basically
Exactly.
नीचे से जो आ रहा है वही ऊपर
Hmm.
दिखने वाला है आपको. तो नीचे का जो
Hmm.
है वो आपको significantly different powerful बना सकता है. So
Hmm.
NLP is where you study all of this, right?
Okay.
So that you can
Hmm.
change the way you think, change the way you
Okay.
respond, change the way you act,
Hmm.
and change the way you produce outcome.
Hmm.
Hypnotherapy has certain
Hmm.
overlapping factors with
Hmm.
NLP, but
Hmm.
at hypnotherapy, what it does is, just to give you an example, um, if I say, if I ask you, what's the color of this pen?
Blue.
Blue, right?
Hmm.
This is blue because you know it's blue because you've been taught that this is blue, right?
Okay.
What if I tell you that this is yellow? This is not blue. What would be your answer? What would be your reaction to
Yellow is
that?
my wall. Yellow is my wall.
Oh, yes. That's why I probably said yellow.
Yeah.
What would be your reaction?
Hmm.
You'd be like, no, this is blue.
Yeah.
Because that's what you have been taught. That's what you
Hmm.
learn, right? So
Okay.
through hypnotherapy, what we do
Hmm.
is we cleanse this part, we cleanse this understanding that this is color blue, and
Hmm.
we tell you that this is yellow. So when I ask you next time, you will answer like, this is yellow, right? This is not blue. Now, to put this in the context,
Hmm.
if you believe that you cannot swim, as an
Hmm.
example, because for last 35 years of your life,
Hmm.
you tried swimming, there were three experiences, very bad experience where a couple of times you almost drowned in the water.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that has created that fear and insecurity in your mind about swimming.
Hmm.
But if I tell you that, those two incidences were really powerful,
Hmm.
and the third time when you tried, you actually swam a little bit. And
Hmm.
if you do that, this will be an exhilarating experience, an exciting, happy experience.
Hmm.
And you become fit and an absolutely fantastic version of yourself,
Hmm.
right? And if I
Hmm.
show you that picture, and if I
Hmm.
change the interpretation of your old picture into a new picture where your old slate is completely cleaned and this new thing is
Hmm.
rewired in the brain, what would you do? You will take action towards learning swimming, and you learn it much faster because now your mind, your subconscious
Hmm.
mind, is supporting you, right? In a positive, challenging you in a positive. So you
Hmm.
produce that outcome, which is way more favorable, positive, and you achieve that. That's
Hmm.
what you can do through hypnotherapy, as an example. So now, if you look
Okay.
at that, you can apply that to any sphere of your life, right? To your
Hmm.
personal life, your mindset, and to your professional, to your
Hmm.
career, to your job search, all sorts of things.
Hmm.
And that's why people produce exponential sorts of results, where earlier they thought this was simply not possible. But when they
Hmm.
produced it, they realized, this was always within me. I could always
Yeah.
achieve, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Got it.
Does that answer your
Got it.
question?
Yeah. It exploded my mind.
Cool.
Blue, not yellow. I got confused. Yeah, like nice. So, one thing like I want to tell you, this is the first time any LinkedIn top voice came on this show. So, mm, I want to ask how you become top voice on LinkedIn, and that too in a like short span of time, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So, to be honest, I mean, let me give you a very interesting sort of background behind this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I was awarded as a LinkedIn Australia Top Voice, um, I was like, what is this? I don't even know about this, right? I had not thought about it. I was not a creator, not an official creator, nor, a social media person as such.
Mm-hmm.
And when this was given to me, I didn't understand the significance of this. But when I posted about this, and when LinkedIn Australia posted about this, and my name
Mm-hmm.
was tagged in that, and when I started receiving responses and people congratulating me for several days, I realized, oh my God, this is something important, right? And and that too, when you realize that you are amongst the top 20 people in that country where LinkedIn is
Mm.
choosing you, then it feels really significant, right?
Yeah.
And when I realized that there were a lot of coaching groups and lots of different communities where people had the dream and the goal to become a
Mm.
LinkedIn top voice, I was like, yes,
Mm.
this is significant.
Yeah.
This is significant.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, okay. So let me explain both the negative sides and the positive side. When I say negative side, what I'm referring to is people have a misconception about LinkedIn top voice.
Mm.
Okay. So it is not dependent on how many likes you get, how many
Mm.
times your posts are going viral, or how
Mm.
many followers you have, or how many connections you have,
Mm.
right? In fact, when I received my LinkedIn top voice, I hardly had about 5,000-6,000 connections or followers.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So that definitely is not an indicator. And I know a lot of people who have similar sort of follower, count, and
Mm-hmm.
they've been judged as LinkedIn top voice. So this is definitely not the criteria. I can tell you that.
Mm.
What is important for LinkedIn top voice is you're very, very authentic about what you do,
Mm.
right? You're not copying somebody, you're not modeling. Modeling is fine to a certain extent, but you're not copying somebody's content and just
Mm.
putting it, just forwarding the videos here and there.
Mm.
That is not going to take you to a top voice badge at all, right? You need to be authentic. You need to be producing content which is genuinely produced on your site. And people see whether there's a research behind it or you're just, fluffing it. You're just saying it for the sake of saying it. So there needs to be authenticity. There needs to be genuineness. There needs to be consistency. There needs to be consistency in what you're doing. Now, being consistent doesn't mean that you need to be necessarily posting every single day on LinkedIn. What consistency means is you have decided a particular frequency of posting your content, and you're sticking to that. So if it is 3 times a week, you do it 3 times a week. If you're doing it for 5 times a week, you do it 5 times a week. Right? It's like opening your shop. You are running a business, and if your shop is not open, your customer is not going to be able to come in and get in, right?
Correct.
You have to open that shop when you have promised.
Yeah,
So that is, I would say, consistency, ease. It needs to be easy on your eyes, right? Don't make it complicated. Don't use jargons and terminologies and things like that. People are neither interested, nor they have time to understand and go through everything and really, digest the heavy loads of information. Right?
Got it. Got it.
Yeah, I would say, if you have a great mixture of value giving, educating, at the same time entertaining as well, and which is genuine, people identify with that. LinkedIn really identifies with that kind of, and you don't have to be obsessed with your algorithms and things like that on LinkedIn. If you continue doing that, yeah,
Got
absolutely.
it. Okay, Abhijeet, I guess thank you so much for coming. I'm wrapping it up because the
We are
show is
running out of time.
running out of time, and but it was like a pleasure listening to you because you have taught to me how things can work around from a sales guy in Standard Chartered to staying in Australia with a family and becoming life coach. So you really turned around things, and that hypnotherapy and NLP that busted my. I need to Google that again. But it was it was pleasure talking to you because I am talking to the first my LinkedIn top voice and great professional in life coach. So yeah, things told like it has. I'm still absorbing it and trying to put it in my brain. So thank you so much, Abhijeet. And it was like pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much. And guys, whoever wants to talk to him, I'll put his LinkedIn in the description. You can connect with him. He's a LinkedIn top voice. He can tell you many things around LinkedIn. And if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me. Along with that, please subscribe, like, and comment whoever personality you want. I'll try to bring that person. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and sign out. Bye bye.
Thank you.